Hi there! First time back at my channel, showing my face after my graduation. So, this is the new lab in the new apartment and I'll make a video dedicated to it. But first, let's talk about IL-2. Normandy just officially dropped and I want to talk about the present and the future for IL-2 Great Battles. Let's go! So first, let's talk about what have been done to the game. Of course, let's just ignore the new map and new planes and talk about the engine and the damage model and stuff like that. So, the damage model has been revisited and basically redone because a lot of things change, a lot of variables, a lot of modules. And as far as I'm concerned, people have been really happy about it. The 109 doesn't have a concrete tail anymore. The 47 is much more sturdier, and some friends from the squadron I fly with, they've been saying that the 47 line is a solid plane, as it should be. Still, there's a comparison here and there with Cliffs of Dover and DCS about damage model and P factor, gyroscopic effects, and some things like that. And I believe in the future that can be visited, but for now the combats are much more exciting, and that's a great improvement. The 5th cal modeling has been corrected, and the community is happy about it. At least as far as I can, as far as I've been reading the comments. But still no incendiary ammunition or fuel system. That has been postponed for future releases, so let's just keep an eye on that. And the visuals were amazingly improved, although I still give it to Cliffs of Dover the best explosions and fires. The clouds and terrain now look fantastic. This game has never been such an eye candy as it's right now. It's amazing, and my GPU is struggling a little bit more than usual, especially with the new map. Has much more details, much more cities, and much more terrain details. I hope by the end of the year I can get a new GPU and enjoy the game in its full beauty. Now let's talk about a little bit what things that are in the to-do list, at least personally. This is a personal video, personal notes. I don't represent the community, although I've been reading a lot of the subreddit of IL-2, great source. And of course, you're looking at the screen right now. Of course, I follow Stormbirds by Shamrock, so I've been using this as a base material because anytime I think about recording a video, this guy made a blog post and it's literally everything there. This guy is reading our minds, guys. So yeah, let's keep an eye on Shamrock. I know you're reading my thoughts right now. And of course, I've been delayed by making this kind of videos I wanted for so long because, I finished college and changed my job and changed my apartment, so yeah. The pilot model is wacky right now. Guys, at least I think it's more consistent with impacts, but sometimes a really smooth landing just kills your pilots, and the community has been divided on that. So I think revisiting the damage model for impacts on the pilot would be really nice. No, damage model for your character, your little human in the plane. Some slight changes with the latest planes, like I think the Tempest flight model is still way too floaty, has no inertia or anything like that. And the gunner for the 410, it's a killing machine right now. I know, it's supposed to be like that, but gunners shouldn't be that precise so far away from you. So yeah, maybe tune it down that a little bit. And the hot topic of the moment right now still is the engines, especially with the P40. People want something that allows us to push it a little bit further on its performance, as it was pushed in the real war. Now, some features that I noticed with my flight time that I wanted to see in the game, and they're fairly simple to implement. First, the one I read on the community and I thought, wow, that would be amazing, is the ability to blow up train tracks. That will make stopping trains much easier, obviously. Another one was to implement torpedoes, and I think that is like a really important thing now that I have the channel and I have Kuban, a lot of, vessels in water. Torpedoes would be nice, and have planes that carry torpedoes, at least a variant of planes we have. It could be implemented with new planes, I don't know. Of course, that's a personal opinion, really personal, by the way. I think the game should allow the autopilot not to level, to just have the ability to hold the plane rising or falling, vertical speed. because sometimes you just want to climb, and that's very boring. You know, you can trim the plane, but you know, Shift A, press another shortcut, and your pilot keeps vertical speed. That'd be nice. I know the Arado has that, but ain't that like, you know, the machine doing it for you, not the pilots? No, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And the last feature I should be implemented on the game for it to be, you know, the best flight experience, the ability to navigate on maps, you know, use a ruler or compass, stuff like that to get, you know, angles and distances. That would be much appreciated, and I feel like that would be kind of easy for the devs to implement, not that hard. So yeah, a tool like that, you know, measure distance and angles. So now that we skipped what has been done and what I want to see in the game, let's just go talk about, you know, what has been done in reality and the future that, you know, might be in front of us in this franchise. So I'm gonna read the last article by Stormbirds here about the topic, because a lot of ideas that I had are here, so I wanna promote a blog that I read, so yeah, why not? Here Shamrock talks about, you know, the new theater options, and in a blog post that I'll show you in a minute, all the links down in the comments or in the about of this video, I don't know. The devs talk about they already have in mind some ideas and they're discussing that, so let's discuss that. Late war in the Eastern Front. Well, all the ideas they have for planes here are the ideas I had. I would include, you know, maybe the IL-10 and some American planes that were seen in the late war, like, you know, the P-61 and A-26. They were used in Europe, although not as much in the Pacific. You know, the modern versions of planes they have, like the P-47 and P-51, P-63 for a change, you know, the 39. Sometimes Lex. I'm a bad pilot, I suck at flying that plane. At least that's me. So a late war would be super interesting. And of course the obvious choice would be Berlin, you know? The ability to fight on the last battle for the Eastern Front. I think that would be fucking amazing. The community agrees. Everybody showed a lot of love for their battle in the comments. You know, it's that's an easy hit. Everybody will like that. Although some people are tired of late war planes, a lot of people love and buy them instantly. And of course, a video about next chapters in the franchise wouldn't be ready without bringing the Pacific. And I've been saying this for a long time within the community, at least the Brazilian community of this game. Pacific doesn't need to be only carriers. Well, the ICGS just said officially that they have problems with carriers. Carriers will be a great challenge. And I tell you, there were a lot of land-based battles in the Pacific. So let's give you just some examples, right? We have a lot of battles in the islands, or you can go even west to Indochina, like that's a possibility. Here in the blog posts in front of you, you can see it talks about Guadalcanal, New Guinea. No, we could go so far in the island battles, not necessarily depending on carriers. And I think aircraft carriers just doing a path in the ocean, super simple, you can take off and land, would be already really good. I don't know if that's just me, but I'm not that picky. I just want a rectangle that I can land on top of it, you know? And if I fail, I just hit the water and hit the rectangle. I just want a harder landing and takeoff, that's it. But, you know, the dev said that'd be a great challenge, so the Pacific can be done, even without carriers. What if you don't need to go to Pacific to have some simple carriers and some simple islands and a lot of water? Italy and Sicily. Mediterranean theater of operations. That's a classic topic discussion, and I think would be so nice. We can have some early fighters and we finally give the proper attention to the big three Italian fighters. Can you imagine that? That'd be fucking fun. Like the G55, the 1005, and the... what is the other one? Oh yeah, the 205. There's a lot of fives in here. Even though I know this is not a popular opinion, this is just mine, but the Italian campaign, by the way, David saw the operation of the Shooting Star. A few unities flying here and there, but it was operational in there in the end war. So, you know, by the end of the war, we could have some jets, like the Meteor. Meteor would be fucking fun. You know, the Germans have the 262, it's a pain in the ass to fight against. I suck at flying. But for real, Italy, Sicily, you know, you could have some real fun in there, and gave attention to proper fighters and bombers by the... how do you say that? Regia Aeronautica. there you have it. So here you can see another topic that I don't see as much as I wanted, but early Cold War. And I wrote some notes here, like you could have like tons of super props, including the Sky Raider. Come on, Sky Raider guys, that would be fun. And the early jets, like I think the first generation of jets are super interesting because, if I'm not mistaken, the first generation doesn't have like guided missiles. Am I in the wrong here? Like I'm not like super great into the first jets. I pay a lot more attention to World War II fighters, but you know, that would be like a nice step from the super props and some really late war we have already by Bodenplatz and possibly Berlin or something like that. It'd be like a nice next step. Korea was, you know, the big battle, the big campaign after World War II. You know, early Vietnam, Manchuria. We have a lot of conflicts that use some early planes, and I think first generation fighters would be just really easy to tackle, no guided ammunition, nothing complex to put on, you know. And talking about guiding ammunition, a feature that would be complex to implement, at least I think, but it would be so much fun. Raiders. We already have planes that can use Raiders. They have variants with Raiders, the 110, the 410, the Mosquito, many others, including the planes that we can come to the franchise in the future. So, Raiders. It'd be really complex to implement in the game, I know. Not for the code, but the interface as well. That would be complex, but just putting out there. Raiders. Here Shamrock cites another thing that is very classic, where the series is not going. We already talked about the Pacific, the limitations that the devs talked about the aircraft carrier, the limitations that they say they have when dealing with like big bombers. They have a lot of AI units inside the plane that, you know, ends up blowing up in the engine. And I agree. I don't think we're gonna have the battles that are featured in Cliffs of Dover, because that'll be direct competition, and that's not going to happen. Here Shamrocks just puts the Battle of France as something that wouldn't be like a great appeal. I disagree, and even saw a post a while ago in the subreddit talking about it would be interesting because it was short, but it was intense. It had the same, like fairly the same amount of destruction as Battle of Stalingrad, aircraft-wise. So we have the chance, like, you know, Italy, we have the chance to deal with some Italian planes, you know. A Battle of France, we could deal with a lot of French planes, and that would be super nice. And early war, a lot of people have been claiming that they want early war. Could be early France, early Pacific, you know, slower planes, slow paced, you know, simple guns. I would enjoy that. Especially people coming to the franchise, it'd be a really nice chapter, a little nice challenge, and a great way to learn some basics of fighter and bomber maneuvering. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are yet to come, like the C-47 and the Lisonov 2. I bought them already, really eager to fly them. I really love these two planes. I talked about my passion for the C-47 in another video. The Romanian fighter and the Stug and the Cancer tank, seriously, playing War Thunder, traumatized about the Churchill. I really hate that tank. And of course, Jason talked about. No, actually, Jason posted pictures and got a hands of B-225. I think we might see one at least. It's not the age variant, so I want more attack variants of planes to have. Like, come on, the A-20, you know, had some really nice variants with more guns and more ammunition. B-25H and J were really interesting. I would like that, variants. I'll make a video only about variants in the future. So this is the first video about meta content that I wanna do after I graduate. So in the next videos I'll talk about what I want to see, you know, plane-wise and map-wise. If you guys find this interesting, of course. Here it talks about the Meteor and other jets, you know, I'll talk about planes I want to see in the series in the future. So, now that I talked all about what I think, let's talk about the latest blog post about devs. And of course, Stormbirds covered the latest post, because this guy is way faster than I am. So the post talks about a lot of things, and I'll post the link down below if you want to read everything, but some things caught my attention. So people talk about the Pacific and the limitations about aircraft carriers. So there's that. I discussed this already. And it talks about a lot of things, but some things are really important here, at least to me, and I just want to discuss with you. The blog post I'm talking about, and it talk about managing the project and how Moscow and Stalingrad were really close to, and Kuban was a significant leap. I agree, Kuban was shockingly different. It talks about why Moscow is not inside the model, a question that finally I found the answer to. I was really curious about it. IC doesn't have any plans to make it less hardcore. Great. Talking about engine, the Marshall multiplayer mode, they couldn't make it work for now at least. Balance, it's a polemic topic in every single simulator game ever. They talk about War Thunder, they talk about some other stuff. This is of course a compressed text form for the podcast they had in Russian, so that's why you have a short English text. Shout out to the community people that help a lot. And then it discusses the aircraft carrier, the fact that Petrovich was leaving, and of course the tanks, and the Churchill is not gorgeous, the Churchill is disgusting and slow and underpowered. Fuck the tank. So this was just a short video I wanted to make about what I want to see and what I see the community asking for about the future of this franchise. I talk about features and stuff that was done. I talk about some features I want to see in the game. I talk about what was already done to the game, and I'm really glad they did that, and the community is happy about it. And what the community is not happy about it, and some assumptions about the future. And in the future, if you guys want, I can make videos about the planes that we could see in detail, the variants and models in each theater by each country. I want to make those videos. I want to make some meta content about IL-2, and if you guys want, just pop in the comments. Feedback about the videos. I kind of rusty in making videos because it's been a long time. You can see on my channel the final rush to graduate was stressful, and I'm still kind of tired about that. But new apartment, new job, I'm having my resting time now. So leave your feedback in the comments down below. I hope you liked this video, and may your six be clear and your friends close. Bye!